Yo, what's from LegendBegins here, and this is another VR opinions video. So, we recently learned that the HTC Vive is going to be released for $800 US, $799 if you want to be picky, but it's $800. And I'm okay with that. It may seem strange at first, especially since the fact that I haven't commented on it, or I didn't as soon as it came out. But the truth is, HTC and Valve have always declared that this the Vive would be a premium product, not one that would be cheap, unlike the Oculus Rift and the company Oculus themselves, who stated that they wanted an affordable VR solution for people everywhere to enjoy, and that's what they promised, but it's not what they offered. While you have HTC and Valve, who decided that room scale was the future, and what they did was they created a room scale solution that would work, and it's good. I've tried it on multiple occasions. I actually tried the Pre a few weeks ago. The Pre is essentially the same as the actual one that they have. It's called the Vive Pre, but there's not really any difference. It's like developer's preview, and it's very, very good. In case that wasn't clear, I'll probably make an impressions video eventually. Maybe I'll just wait until I get the actual thing because I'll be pre-ordering tomorrow. But aside from the fact that they never declared their product to be something that would be sold for a small sum of money, at the same time they also said that well, sorry, not said, but they included in this package a front-facing camera that, as devs have shown, is capable of pass-through, which means that you'll be able to see the real world in front of you. And it is also capable of creating what we call Tron mode, which is it creates a blue outline of everything, the edges of everything in the real world. And so when you activate the chaperone system, that's what it would be called, the chaperone, what occurs is you see this blue grid pop up and it shows you your surroundings. And this is a very helpful system, especially in room scale when you might accidentally run into something. This will prevent that, or at least assist you in not doing that. Now, not only does it come with that, it comes with 2 tracked controllers right out of the box. And unlike the Rift, which Oculus Touch doesn't come out for another half year, essentially, it could be almost a full year, you have, right out of the box, fully tracked controllers, and considering the awful shipping rates that Oculus was charging, it really wouldn't be surprising to anyone if the Vive, in a lot of countries, ended up being cheaper than the Oculus Rift. And that covers the controller issue. Room scale, people who say it's a gimmick obviously have never tried, well, not necessarily obviously, but they most likely have never tried room scale because of how amazing and worth having room scale is. After trying the Vive Pre for a 30-minute demo slot, it convinced me to pay upwards of about $900. Now, fortunately, and don't trust this as official information yet, but the Vive will have free shipping according to their website. It could just be misplaced wordage, but it very much seems like that will be the case. Free land shipping, mind you. And that'll be very helpful to consumers, considering, for me, I live in Texas, I'm in the United States, I get electronic goods for quite cheap relative to the rest of the world. But the Oculus Rift had shipping rates of $30, and for me, plus $30 extra tax because they happen to have a headquarters in Dallas. And I thought that was pretty ridiculous, that I'm going to be paying $660 for a virtual reality device without room scale, without any support for it, without controllers other than an Xbox One controller, and really without quite a lot of features that the Vive does have. I'm sure both headsets will be wonderful. Many say the Oculus Rift is extremely comfortable, more so than the Vive. I don't know if this is the case. I've not demoed the Rift. They have the same specs, and the difference is primarily the room scale, the controllers, things like shipping, everything like that. And I likely won't even have to pay tax on the Vive. Some people may. some people may not. Depends really on where you live. Now, the fact is, I just don't really see why you would adopt a solution that has fewer features, and when the greater majority of the features come out later, they are quite potentially more expensive than what you would pay right now. And the Vive also comes with 3 games bundled. So far, they might release more. It includes Fantastic Contraption, it includes Tilt Brush, which I'm extremely excited about. It's a VR painting experience by Google. And it also comes with, if I remember correctly, it would be Job Simulator, which as silly as it sounds, it is extremely fun. It's kind of like a physics-based game, and these games are experiences, or whatever you'd like to call them, can last you for hours. And they're also likely going to include all the Vive pre-demos with it, such as the Blue, Aperture Robot Repair, everything like that. So there's going to be a great package of games right from the start that takes advantage of this room scale. And unlike many believe, you don't need that large of a room. You could actually have just as much space as you would for a Rift, a seated experience. Hook a Lighthouse unit up to your desk and it functions in the same way as the Rift camera would. It's not hard to set up, you don't need that much room, you can have that much room, and I have quite a bit of room that I'm going to put aside for it. But I don't see a reason to buy the Rift, at least for personally, when the HTC Vive has... they've always declared it as a premium product, they've never promised me cheap, and that's really the only thing that got me about the Rift's price. Not the fact that it cost $600, but the fact that not only did they go this whole time over the course of 4 years saying they wanted to make affordable VR for everyone, but also the fact that they said it would be in the ballpark of $350, and despite the founder, Palmer Luckey, backpedaling on his statements later, I didn't find it necessarily conducive to a good VR environment to have that kind of conflicting information. Yet the Vive has always said it's going to be a premium product. I was prepared for $600 initially with the Vive, but as soon as the Rift price came out, I was like, okay, I'll pay up to $800 for the Vive, and it just scraped the top of it, and almost convinced me through that pre-demo to go to $9. It really just depended on how I felt when they announced the price. And so I'll definitely be there 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. That's 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. That's when pre-orders will start tomorrow, Monday, the 29th of February. And I always thought that was kind of trollish of Valve and HTC to put it on the leap day. But yes, shipping also starts on the 5th. So in reality, you're getting something at the same time. The first batch of Rifts shipped March 28th. And that also kind of irked me, is that they mentioned the fact that it would be released in Q1 of 2016, yet it's the very end. There were 2 days or 3 days left after that, so it's not really Q1. It's, for all intents and purposes, the beginning of Q2. And when HTC announced they would be shipping in April, everyone thought, oh, okay, it's going to be at the end of April, yet it's April 5th. And I don't really see the reason in purchasing something that would have less functionality and likely be more expensive in the long run if you buy the controllers with it, as opposed to something that comes out. And first of all, you couldn't even get onto that first batch. I was there for the Oculus pre-orders, the Rift pre-orders, excuse me, and the very second they opened and I was refreshing the page, their site crashed, it had a ton of errors, and by the time I had actually gotten through to the next page, my pre-order had been pushed to May, even though I was spamming F5 and refreshing the page. And that also left kind of a sore spot in my mouth. Yes, HTC and Valve were disappointing during December when they backpedaled on their shipping in 2015 statement at the last second, but they've done a very good job in redeeming themselves, doing very consumer-friendly things these past few months, and having a product that, according to quite a few, is technically superior than their competitor. And I will I can definitely understand the fact that they're willing to charge that much and that many people are willing to pay. I don't find it that insurmountable of a cost, because if you're an enthusiast, for all types of new technology, there's always an entry cost, and VR is one of the lowest ones it has been in years. It's a little bit higher if you count the high-end computer, but mine, I got all the parts on sale. It has an R9 390 and an i5 4590. Those are two, it would be high, mid-end, or mid-high-end, whichever you prefer, processor and graphics card. And it's really not that expensive because I could get all the parts on sale for $650 back in October, and they're even cheaper now. It's really just a matter of sale hunting, and you can get into the entire VR package. If you want to go for the cheaper, quote-unquote, option of getting the Rift, you can have the whole package for about $1250, and that's including a computer that can play games and do really whatever you want. And so I find it extremely reasonable. I just don't see the purpose. If you're interested at all in controllers, the ergonomics of the Rift and the improved comfort, it's very minor, and the lenses and optics are essentially the same as the Vive. I've heard different reports. The one that I've heard about 50% of the time is that the Vive has a larger field of view, while the Rift has less of a screen door effect. That's when you can almost see the space between the pixels, but I don't know how true that is, having not demoed the Rift CV1 yet. But having demoed the Vive Pre, this is a very consumer-ready product, and I highly recommend it. I do believe it's worth the price, and for the reasons of controllers, chaperone, camera, room scale, and non-exclusivity. That's the biggest thing, that they're promoting an open PC environment, not politically correct, mind you, personal computer environment. And while Oculus, on the other hand, is going very closed, a very closed environment where they have exclusives and different contracts with developers. And many claim that this is only to the Oculus Store, which is their own competitor to Steam. However, currently it only supports the Oculus software kit. And the issue with this is the fact that anything created in SteamVR or OpenVR, which is put on the Vive, is compatible with the Oculus software kit. However, not everything on the Oculus software kit is available on the Vive. And that's just a large issue I've been having this entire time, is the fact that Oculus isn't playing nice. They're trying to make exclusives until they want to release them to other headsets. And it's a very poor business decision in terms of software, because they make money on software and they're alienating a good portion of the user base of VR. They're trying to make a niche within a niche community. And when you over-engineer a product to add expensive fabric and things like that, I suppose it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth that they're willing to do something like that. And I've been very impressed with the Vive, their openness, and Valve's development. Not HTC's public relations department, by the way. I don't like them. And their Twitter people, I haven't had good experiences with them. But regardless of that fact, they've done essentially everything right the past few weeks. And the reason I wanted to wait is so I could get all the details before letting you all know. So shipping on April 5th, pre-orders start Monday the 29th at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. The Vive will be $799, functionally $800. Comes with 2 track controllers, 2 lighthouses. That was the other thing I forgot to mention, is the fact that they have what is a superior tracking system. The lighthouses are much more, not necessarily compact, but they're much more functional than a camera that uses computer vision to try to track. Instead, it uses sensors on the headset itself, which I believe is a superior and more flexible solution that they could implement onto other peripheral devices. And the Vive, let's see, camera, chaperone, no exclusives, Steam, which is great. I love Steam, like some people. I haven't had an issue with it, and Steam support actually responded to me. So maybe that's one of the reasons I'm biased towards Steam. But regardless of that, it also has the room scale and the price, which pretty much matches, like, unless Oculus releases the touch controllers for about $50 with free shipping, I don't see how they're going to surmount the price, or how the Vive's price will end up surmounting the price of the full Rift package, especially in other countries like Australia or the European Union, where taxes and VAT is so incredibly high. It's almost cheaper already. For me, with free shipping and the Vive being $800, getting a Rift and let's say the touch controllers are $100 plus the same shipping and tax, that's already $160. Let's just bring that down to $150 for the sake of argument, and plus the headset, which is $660. that's already $810. It's exceeded the price of the Vive, and I don't get the controllers already, and it'd be shipping to me late. And HTC has already stated the fact that they have sufficient quantities in order to release. We don't know how much that is, but hopefully it means that first of all, let's hope their site doesn't crash like Oculus's did, and hopefully their quantities will be enough to meet the demand, and I believe it will. So we'll see how this goes, and look forward to more virtual reality videos from me in the future, and with my room scale support. I wouldn't bash the Rift, because it is a very good product. They've been working on it for years. I just have to support the Vive more, and I'm okay with this decision in terms of pricing. Let me know what you guys all think in the comments. I'll be sure to respond to all of you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.